Hey everyone. So let's talk about Jesus' very first miracle. You probably know the story, turning water into wine. But it turns out the real magic isn't actually about the wine. It's about what that wine represents. And to really get it, we need a little context.
So get this, the Gospels tell us about at least 37 different miracles. And we're not talking small stuff here. I mean, think about it. Healing someone who's been blind their whole life, stopping a massive storm with just a command, even bringing people back from the dead. These are huge, powerful, life-altering acts.
Which brings us to the big puzzle, right? If you can do all that, why would you kick off your entire public ministry by fixing a beverage shortage at a party? It just sounds kind of random, almost trivial. But as we're going to find out, it's anything but. All right, so let's set the scene. We're in the Gospel of John, chapter 2. Picture this, a wedding in a little town called Cana. The music is playing, people are celebrating, the whole party is in full swing.
So the basic story goes like this. Disaster strikes. They run out of wine. And you have to understand, back then, this wasn't just a minor hiccup. This was a huge deal, a massive embarrassment for the family. So Mary, Jesus' mom, she goes up to him and basically says, "You got to do something." He then tells the servants to fill up these 6 giant stone jars with water, and when the guy in charge of the party tastes it, boom. It's not just wine, it's the best wine they've had all night.
Okay, so on the surface, it sounds like a really impressive party trick, right? But here's where it gets interesting. The Bible itself drops a massive clue that there's way more going on here. The Gospel of John doesn't just call it a miracle. Nope, it uses a very specific, very deliberate word.
And that word is sign, or semia in the Greek. Now, this is absolutely crucial to understanding the whole thing. For the writer, John, a sign isn't just about showing off divine power. It's more like, well, a signpost. It's an action that points to a much bigger truth. It's a symbol meant to tell you something really important about who Jesus is and what his mission is all about.
And the text is super clear about the purpose of this sign. It literally says it was to manifest his glory. So this wasn't about being a good wedding guest. It was a revelation. Which means our question changes, right? It's not why did he make wine anymore. It's what did making this wine in this way actually mean?
And to unpack that, we've got to dig into the symbolism. And believe me, it is packed with meaning here. The key isn't just that he made wine, but how he did it.
The author, John, makes a point to tell us about the jars. These weren't just random buckets they found lying around. They were big, heavy, stone water jars that were specifically used for Jewish rituals of purification. And that detail? It's not just trivia. It is the absolute key to unlocking the whole symbol.
So here's what's going on. You've got the old way, water used for religious rituals for purification. And Jesus takes that and transforms it into the new way, abundant, top-shelf wine, a symbol of joy and celebration. It's this powerful, living metaphor for his whole message, really. He's showing that he's here to replace the old, formal rituals with the joy and abundance of something brand new.
But wait, there's more. It gets even deeper. This wasn't just about starting something new. It was also about fulfilling something very, very old. See, the idea of overflowing wine, of a massive celebration, that was a really big deal in the Hebrew Scriptures.
For hundreds of years, prophets like Amos and Joel had been talking about this future time, this messianic age, when things would be so good, so abundant, that the mountains themselves would drip with wine. It was this incredible promise. So when Jesus shows up and literally makes gallons and gallons of amazing wine out of water, he's basically sending a message. He's saying, hey, remember that amazing future you've all been waiting for? Well, it's here. It's starting right now.
So you see, when you start putting all these pieces of the puzzle together, what looked like a simple favor for his mom at a party, it turns into this massive, profound statement. It's not just the first miracle. It's the opening statement that sets the tone for everything that's about to come.
Okay, so let's just boil it down. What did this first sign really do? Well, 3 big things. 1, it showed his divine glory. 2, it symbolized this new era of joy replacing the old rituals. And 3, it was a direct fulfillment of ancient prophecy, basically kicking off the long-awaited age of abundance.
When you think about it, it was the perfect opening act. It was a preview, a microcosm of his entire mission. It's all about transformation, taking the ordinary and making it extraordinary, turning emptiness into overflowing abundance. And if he can turn water into wine, it sets the stage for turning sorrow into joy and, ultimately, death into life.
So let's end with this thought.
If this first sign was so incredibly layered with meaning, what does that tell us about the other 36 that followed? It tells us that none of them were just random acts of power or kindness. Every single one was another sign, another clue, all pointing to the exact same world-changing truth, that something radically new and amazing was breaking into our reality.